We will begin momentarily, everyone. Ready? All right. All right, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Sharnika Cagle. I am a senior community relations specialist for UT Police, and I am your mistress of ceremony for this afternoon. Thank you for joining us for our 11th annual Promotions and Awards ceremony. Before we begin our program today, I'd like everyone to please make sure your phones are silenced, and we will have a safety moment to point out in case there is an emergency. An AED in this building is located at the entrance corridor on the east side of the building, just as you enter from the South Campus garage, so where everyone came from. Also, if anyone has an EpiPen, if you'd raise your hand, that'd be good. Great, I see at least one person, Chief. All right, we of course hope we don't need any of those things today. And also, please note that the restrooms are to the left of the stage, so they're over that way. And during our event, we ask that you use the back doors as to not interrupt the program. We are live streaming our event through Zoom. So for those of you joining us on Zoom, welcome. We encourage you to participate by leaving comments and making virtual applause throughout the ceremony. And Erica will be monitoring those comments, and we appreciate your help, Erica. Now, let's get the show going. So each year, this event coincides with National Police Week, recognizing the outstanding accomplishments of our people that keep the community safe and secure. It is also our sincere hope that each of you will come away with a better understanding of what our personnel do each day and the unparalleled dedication that goes into their work. We have special guests from Pearland High School joining us today to kick off our event. Everyone, would you please stand for the presentation of colors and the pledges from Pearland High School, JROTC. And the MD Anderson Choir is also here to lead us in the national anthem, followed by the pledges. March.
So proud of you, dear. Our life has been is the skies and my star to the paradise side. For the still watch, there's around the sea, and the waters run. Stay. When was still there? Oh, say those stars they go back.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cadet Captain Fiona Kingston from Pearland Junior ROTC. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Thank you.
All right, you may be seated. So thank you so much to the MD Anderson Choir for that beautiful rendition. And thank you again to the Pearland High School JROTC. And I'd also like to point out that our own Sergeant Jason Kingston has 2 daughters who are part of the Pearland High School JROTC that joined us. It is always a special moment, yes, when we can highlight families during this ceremony. I'd like to now introduce to you our first speaker and leader of our division, Vice President, Chief of Police, and Chief Security Officer, William Adcox. Chief.
Thank you, Shanika. And good afternoon, everyone. I want to give a personal thank you and a shout out to our choir. I think that was really a beautiful thing that they did for us today, and also to the JROTC. It's always good to have the youth with us today. Today, we're here to celebrate the achievements of our healthcare, police, and security division, and to recognize the outstanding individuals who have gone above and beyond in their service to our division. I want to start by acknowledging that this year's ceremony is unique, as we are gathering both virtually and in person. After 2 years, we're finally able to come together and celebrate this wonderful award ceremony and promotion ceremony, especially since we've been dealing with the pandemic for so long. I want to thank a few special guests who were able to join us here today, both virtually and live. They are the members of the Community Partnership Council, Awards Committee, and special guests who collaborate with us from both MD Anderson and the UTHealth Health Science Center, Houston. I do want to tell you that our Director of Police, Mike Hinesville, had obligations to fulfill in Austin, but he extends his best wishes to all of the award recipients and those being promoted. Despite the challenges of the past 2 years, our Healthcare, Police, and Security Division has continued to meet our mission to maintain a safe and secure environment within the 2 institutions we're so proud to serve, MD Anderson and UTHealth. You know, when nothing happens, you don't notice heroes. The servant leaders for safety, they're out there doing their jobs. Well, today is the day that we're going to give them recognition. People in our profession are cause-driven, quietly serving so everyone else can do great work. These world-class doctors, nurses, researchers, administrators, and so many others, day in and day out, they're doing great work, saving lives, curing diseases, helping others with life's challenges, simply doing amazing things. This would be impossible without safety champions quietly serving and doing their jobs. To this end, I would like to paraphrase 2 past United States presidents' quotes that should help put this into context as we recognize the servant leaders today. First off, there's no limit to what one can do or where they can go if one doesn't mind who gets the credit. Second quote is, ask not what your team can do for you, but what you can do for your team. I think both of these things symbolize what you see every day in the servant leaders that are part of this police and safety division. While we are working and living in extremely trying times with challenges that have not been seen before, I'm proud to report that our division has made great progress in all corners of the organization and remains absolutely committed to those who serve and those we all serve with care, dignity, respect, and integrity. Now, before we get into the awards, we are pleased and honored to have with us the Dean of the Cizik Nursing School at UTHealth Houston, Dr. Diane Santa Maria, who is going to be our keynote speaker. Dr. Santa Maria has served as a UTHealth Houston as Dean of the Cizik School of Nursing since September of 2020. Under her leadership, the School of Nursing has improved in national rankings, increased NIH research funding, and expanded degree offerings and innovative technologies. She holds the Jane and Robert Cizik Distinguished Chair and the Huffington Foundation Endowed Chair in Nursing Education Leadership at the School of Nursing University of Texas Health Science Center. Dean Santa Maria expertise includes public health nursing, adolescent health, and HIV, STI, and pregnancy prevention. She has served as a principal investigator and co-investigator on multiple research studies funded by the National Institute of Health, CPRIT, and various foundations. With wide-ranging expertise and experience working in underserved communities in the United States and abroad, she currently is conducting HIV prevention and stress reduction research with youth and young adults experiencing homelessness. She received her bachelor's degree in nursing from, and they have to stress this, the Ohio State University, and her master's degree in public health nursing from Case Western Reserve University. She joined the school as a member of the community health clinical faculty in 2009 while completing her doctoral degree at the School of Public Health. She completed a leadership education in adolescent health pre-doctoral fellowship at Baylor School of Medicine and was a visiting professor in the University of California, San Francisco Center for AIDS Prevention Studies. We could go on to talk about Dean Santa Maria, but let's welcome her up here today, and please join me in welcoming her to be our keynote speaker.
Thank you, Chief Ed Cox, and thank you all for inviting me here today. It's an honor to be here to celebrate you and all of your accomplishments this year. And I'm just extra grateful that you didn't come here and ask me to sing. So I'll stick with the keynote versus the choir. But really, thank you for everything that you do to keep us safe and to help prepare our students as they journey on this adventure to becoming either a nurse, physician, public health professional, et cetera. And congratulations to all of you who are here today for being recognized for going above and beyond the call of duty to help our students, employees, patients at all 6, soon to be 7 schools here at the University of Texas, as well as at MD Anderson. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Chief Ed Cox, who's been leading UTHealth Houston for 19 years. You must have started when you were a kid. He's always so kind and such a confident leader, and we're really just so excited to have him continue his profession here and to help us all. He helps us with big events and to manage things that happen that we can't control, whether that's a pandemic, a hurricane, a rodeo, or when Taylor Swift comes to town. So thank you for all you do, big and small, each day. I'm particularly grateful to be with you here together in person. I understand this is the first time you've been able to celebrate for many years together, and it does have a special ring to it when you're able to be in the same room and not have just a box that you're saying hello to. So it's good to be back. And it's always, nice to have, and you always feel safe, whether you're in a room with a group of peace officers or nurses. So you can't go wrong either way. So thank you for all you do. For what might someday be a blip in time, COVID-19 has really reduced a lot of our interactions to WebEx, Zoom, FaceTime calls. And so it really makes today a special opportunity for us to get together, shake each other's hands, and say congratulations for all the work that you do. While we won't give up a lot of those things, we're really grateful that you have been able to stay with us during that transition, whether it's hybrid, all virtual, or in person, and have even been able to help us continue with our active shooter drills and so forth, even when some of those had to go virtual. So thank you for that. As we all know, nursing and police work is an in-person job. This is not something you can do if you're computer scientist with your yoga pants on from home. So it's really important that you guys are here, and we're so grateful that as we transitioned between having students in the building and students not in the building, you guys were always there. And I know it was probably pretty lonely sometimes when you were the only person there and everyone else was at home. We tried, as we were coming back and forth in our meetings, when we were having a small get together, if we had anything extra, we always sort of passed it through the security guards and everybody who was there, because we knew that those buildings were pretty lonely for some time until we really made it back. Of course, it didn't take very long for nursing to come back, because you can't learn how to give a blood pressure, take an, anything like that's a nursing profession. You can't really learn that online, although some people are trying. We'll see how that works out. So, it didn't take us long to get back into the building, but we're very grateful that you were there, even when there wasn't many of us there. Throughout the lockdowns, partial closures, we had reopenings, and we could always count on you guys to keep our building safe. And we're very grateful for that. Every day that you guys have provided this safe and consistency to our faculty and staff and all of our students. And it's really something that our students tell us on a daily basis, how important that is. For some people, it's challenging to come to TMC. They see that as sort of coming to town, whether it's downtown. Some of them are from very rural areas, or they tend to spend most of their time in the suburbs. And so coming to town to them feels something of a safety concern. And so they always are really grateful to see everyone around and knowing that we're really doing everything we can to keep people safe here in the TMC. So on behalf of Cizik School of Nursing, UTHealth Houston, and MD Anderson, thank you. We salute you for all the work that you've done, not only during the pandemic, but every day before that and every day since then. And hopefully we won't have to worry about one of those for some time. And as I sort of walked in and was reading some of the narratives of the work and the professionals that are being honored today, I'm just in awe of all that you do, and so grateful for all the interventions you do, big and small, that keep us safe. But in preparing for this event, I was trying to reflect on where there's some commonalities between police and nurse, and there's quite a few actually. I think first and foremost, both of our professions are desperately seeking to attract new people. We're not seeing the same sort of land grab that we used to have for nursing and police officers that we did in the past. And so, again, it's not a profession you can do online. And so maybe there's some young people who are thinking about it in a different way. So if any of you are interested in nursing, I'll leave some cards out over here and we will, exchange information. I don't think it's an accident that National Nurses Week comes right before the Police Officers Week. So that happens because really May is around celebrating those people in this world who keep us safe. And so I don't think that's an accidental connection, that they happen as one ends, the other one begins. As we're wrapping up our celebration of Nurses Week, some of you may have been around for long enough that you know Dr. Stark. You remember Dr. Stark? She was the dean at the Cizik School of Nursing for 30 years. Her national reputation is that she's the dean of all deans, because everybody who's a dean in this country somehow interacted with her at some point. We just got back from New York City on Saturday celebrating her because she was being honored by the United Nations for being a nurse who has international impact. So we're really, just a wonderful legacy of people who've come from this institution. And I know many of you in this room know her and would want to celebrate with her. She's doing great. Really, really nice. And so we put a whole bunch of pictures of her up on Facebook if you like us on our page. I think another commonality that really intersects between nursing and police officers is that we tend to be there on people's worst days. So that's not lost on either of our professions. Our job is to look, listen, assess, try to determine whether or not we can keep the scenario safe. We try to be that calming presence to, calm those fears, find solutions, and intervene where we can. Both nurses and police officers tend to run towards the crisis instead of away. So that, again, is a common thread that we have between our two professions. We're dedicated to helping our communities in big and small ways every day. And it's seldom easy to do that. So that means that we've got really tough jobs. We all battle burnout, and that's not lost on any of us. We sometimes see the worst in society and the worst in people. So we have to try to keep that in connection with all the good that we see. And so celebrations like today, where we can really celebrate heroes, is really important. So thank you for continuing to show up every day, even when these professions are not the easiest. Importantly, nurses and police officers both recognize the increasing need that we have in mental health services and substance use treatment in our communities, both locally and abroad. However far you go, you can't get away from these scenarios. According to the statistics for the National Institute on Mental Health, about 1 in 5 Americans are struggling with mental health issues. I'm sure many of you are super excited about the new school coming. John S. Dunn Behavioral Sciences Center. Those expanded resources, we hope, will keep people out of the criminal justice system and get them into systems where they can get the care that they need. And that comes from being able to recognize early on when that's an appropriate scenario and when we need to move people into mental health or substance use versus criminal justice system. So thank you for that. I know it takes a keen eye to be able to figure out how to work within that space. They provide unmatched clinical opportunities for all of our students as well. So we're really grateful that the ability that we're going to be able to have in meeting the mental health needs of Texans in general by being able to train the workforce that we need, because just like every other healthcare workforce, including nursing, they're really struggling to get people into these careers. So being able to be the solution to some of those crises and some of those workforce issues is really important. In the years past, Harris County Jail, which you guys all know this, has had the reputation of being really the largest mental health care provider in our country and our facilities, right? So it just doesn't matter where you are. It seems like the jail system is really that provider of care, and that's not really the right way to do it, right? It's the same way that we try to move people out of the emergency department and into these more accurate ways of taking care of each other. It's just trying to find the way to get that to happen. Many of the patients that will be served at the Dunn Center will now be able to move out of those criminal systems and into the care that they need that will prevent that in the future. So really have some wonderful things to look forward to here in our community. My own research involves working with homeless youth. And you may have, I hear stories all of the time, every single week that I'm out there, about the kindness and compassion of police officers and how it made a difference in their lives. These are young people who are, there's stigma associated with them. There's biases that we currently have. They're young people in general. And so some people are afraid of young people. There's all sorts of things that can happen. And these are folks who really just need to find the connection to the right resource. And you guys are oftentimes the people that can help make that happen. Keeps them out of law enforcement, keeps them out of stealing the sandwich at the CVS because they were able to find a place where they could get a meal. So it's really important. And the Houston Hot Team, which I'm sure all of you know about, is a prime example of how nurses and law enforcement work together to try to make sure people get into the right care system. Healthcare is one of the many areas where nurses and police officers work together in partnership. And one other example we have is one of our students, Asta Krebs. She's a doctor of nursing practice student and psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner program, and she'll be finishing up this summer. She worked with the Houston Health Department Crisis Intervention Response Team, collaborating with the physicians to help individuals experiencing severe mental health crisis. So last summer, she went to Washington, D.C. as part of her graduate Archer Fellowship to advocate for Medicare to expand the mental health benefits past that 190 days so that people who are in severe crisis can stay in these facilities and not be prematurely discharged and then end up sort of in our systems again because they're not quite well just yet. So that's a good example of how nurses and law enforcement really work together to try to solve some of these really complex problems. She's really the boots on the ground and some ideas of how this happens both locally and then all the way up to DC. Another example, which is maybe seemingly a little bit more routine, but also vital, occurs every year when we have our UT Police, Houston Police, Fire Department, and other jurisdictions come together to help us with our mass casualty incident drill and our active shooter simulation. So our students and volunteers really get excited about getting gored up and getting the moulage on from our sim lab and really acting like these victims. But while it's a lot of fun and it's very stimulating, it's incredibly important that we've got a group of people here within our community who know how to respond to whatever that looks like, whether it's a downed plane, a downed train, a mass shooting, these things that we hope we never have to encounter, but we want to know that we've got people in town that can help us if that does happen. And more importantly, we had these experiences with our students when they are both responding to a crisis with the police, fire, EMS, whenever these tragedies occur. So it takes a lot of planning and preparation, and we're really grateful for the partnership in order to make that as realistic as possible, but then also close the loop on how do we prevent these things from happening, and how do we also make sure that if it does happen, that we're able to save as many lives and prevent as much trauma as we possibly can. In addition to contributing to our educational mission, UT Police personnel come over to the school quite a lot, providing training and consultations to our staff. Recently, we had Captain Michael Redmond, who spoke to us about some newly installed panic buttons. We put panic buttons in some of our larger classrooms as we've seen more and more mass shootings happening in educational spaces. A lot of our staff and faculty, of course, get concerned, and so do our students. So it's an extra layer of protection and sort of security. He told us how to use them and then how not to use them. So that was really important. Sort of knowing the distinction of, somebody hits the button and you guys don't really get a full description of what's happening versus calling 911, where we can actually exchange some information and really be able to hone in on what's actually happening. But one of the things that he did that was really important while he was there is he fielded some questions about campus security. And at one point in the talk, he stressed the importance of watching out for one another, something that we can both do together to make sure that our community here at UTHealth and MD Anderson are all safe and well. So really coming out of this pandemic, nerves are raw. You see it every day, whether it's the parking lot of HEB or anywhere really. People have lost loved ones. They've experienced severe, sometimes debilitating illness. They've watched families suffer. They've lost jobs. And for many of them, that has led to an increase in mental health illnesses and also incidences of violence. So Captain Redmond pointed out that, really we need, these things are all sort of related. And so we need to be sensitive and responsive to the small cues of the people around us, that we can respond to their well-being and potentially prevent an acceleration of a disease process or an acceleration of violence. So both of those things are incredibly important. So in closing, I'd just like to reiterate what Captain Redmond pointed out, and to thank you all for sort of watching over us every day, faculty, staff, students, patients, really everybody who comes and visits the medical center. Thank you for your professionalism and your compassion, and thank you for caring and showing up every day. Oh, wow. Okay.
Please accept this.
Yeah.
Actually.
Glad I brought my suitcase.
Thank you, Diane. We deeply appreciate that. Those of you that have not had the honor and the privilege to have worked with Diane or to deal with her college, I can sincerely say, of all the leaders I've dealt with, she's one of the most authentic and one of the most kind persons that we've ever had to deal with and work with. And you can see that in her work and in her accomplishments. So again, please help me in thanking her for doing such a great job here today. I would like to acknowledge a few MD Anderson and UTHealth employees who have impacted our division and our institution immensely with their many contributions. The phrase "it takes a village" applies when we rely on great relationships. These great relationships that we have in the community with our members in order to maintain our team's commitment to protect and serve. So first and foremost, we're going to call your names and ask you to come up here. Some of you some of these recipients aren't here today, but we're still going to recognize them. But our first, please join me in recognizing our first recipient, Diane Confer. who's receiving the Civilian Service Award from us today. Diane, will you please come up and join me? So while Diane's coming up, Diane has worked with our institution for more than 30 years. She is currently the Director of Campus Services at MD Anderson. She has always been a champion of our division and is always willing to help us with special event parking coordination and security in the garages and lots. Her contributions to the UT Police, including supporting us as a member of our Community Partnership Council, and has served as on our awards committee for the past 2 years. She's been on interview panels. She's attended community outreach events, but most recently, she has actually collaborated with our division to pursue physical security improvements. We call it a FAR, to increase the electronic security, the cameras and physical security in all of our institutionally owned garages. Diane has been a constant supporter of the police and security division. She's also been one to bring up when we have some needs for improvements or some changes. We've always counted on her voice, an honest voice to us. She's done a great deal for us, and it is our honor to present her today with the Civilian Service Award. So join me in congratulating Diane. Now we have a leader who unfortunately was not able to make it today because of her other commitments, but this particular leader has been a tremendous asset to our division, and we'd like to recognize her with the UT Civilian Service Award. That is Dr. Carmen Gonzalez. Dr. Carmen Gonzalez serves as the Chief Patient Safety Officer for MD Anderson. Dr. Gonzalez led patient safety improvements to include her partnership with the UT Police in the review of our workplace violence prevention program and the subsequent enhancements. We are thankful for Dr. Gonzalez's leadership during this Joint Commission Gap Analysis Review Program, the recommendations, and also the enhancements. So we are very, very pleased to be able to give her a small token of our appreciation, a UT Police Civilian Service Award. So those of you that when you have the opportunity to see Dr. Gonzalez, please thank her for all she does for not only the institution, but for the police and security division. Next to be recognized is, and unfortunately not able to be with us today, is for the Civilian Service Award is Executive Director Altravis Rivas. Altravis is no stranger to this award. She previously received this award in 2017 for intervening in a suicide attempt on Bertner Street. She plays an instrumental role in the distribution and successful remediation of workplace violence incidents on campuses. She serves as the chairman or chairperson, actually, of the Two-Stop Committee, which is the behavioral intervention team for MD Anderson, and has been partnered with the police division on multiple types of events and multiple engagements. She is working very closely with the threat management team and is also a member of the Community Partnership Council. Altravis has also taken the lead in bringing active shooter exercises to the different units and the different groups within MD Anderson. And to this date, and Chief Cross is our representative that runs that with her. I believe we're almost at 3,000 employees that have been trained. It's more hands-on and it has been tremendously successful. And that's her commitment. She continues to work very diligently on that and to work with us and help us as we develop the workplace violence program. So again, if you see Altravis around campus, and she happens to be in Orlando, Florida today, I don't know why she'd rather be there, but that said, no, she has work there. But that said, please congratulate her for this award. Is Mike Sanderson here today? I didn't see Mike. Well, let's recognize Mike. The next goes to IT Project Manager Mike Sanderson. Mike is an IT project manager responsible for the UT Police technology portfolio. He has successfully partnered with us on and as well as enterprise business systems in order to stabilize and enhance the institution's video management systems. Just to give you an idea what that means, there are over 6,000 cameras that run on that system. And that system was quite antiquated and behind due to past policies within the IT division. And Mike has worked very diligently to help us in order to improve that, put the strategic plans in place to make improvements. So he's just doing a great job. He was also recently selected to manage the Combined Protection Models Digital Transformation Initiative. So we want to thank Mike for all of his contributions to the safety of our community. And we look forward to the success of future partnerships. Let's thank Mike for that. And one thing to remember when we recognize Mike with IT, this particular IT runs the systems for both institutions. So whenever there's something being done, it's really, these are improvements that help all of the UT system components within the Houston area. So we're really appreciative of that. Next, at least in the civilian awards arena here, I'd like to ask Dr. Pat Lobovich, I want to make sure I get that right, to come on up, please. I just call you Scott. Is that okay? Dr. Pat Lobovich. So everybody knows me. There's only one person in the UT police that has a worse time with names than me, and I won't recognize him, but he's in the first row over here. Dr. Pavlovich works closely with our division to protect the institution's high-risk resources and helps ensure the institution is prepared for emergency responses of all kinds, such as pandemic, hurricane, freezes, power outages, fires, active shooters, bomb threats, just to name a few. He has more initials behind his name than I can understand or recite to you today. He's been the champion for our division on so many different areas. We have collaborated on untold different projects. Scott, he actually heads up the environmental health and safety portion of UTHealth. And so whenever we needed some training, whether it was around the shots that we were having to take for COVID, whether it was around utilizing the N95s, the mask, whatever it was, Scott and his team came right over to help us. Unbelievable services, whether it's moving in the radiator, whether it was closing down the lab, or whatever it is. Scott has worked so closely with the team, and we really appreciate that. So with that said, congratulations, Scott. We appreciate it. I hope just a little flavor that you all are seeing here is that when I mentioned earlier, it takes a village, that you can really see where that there is no one entity that makes any institution or any place great. It takes everybody coming together, doing our parts, working selfishly, and just getting the job done. And it's through partnership and relationships that you get that done. And Scott's in his area is such a great example of that. And we deeply appreciate all you do. Before I go on, I feel so strongly about these awards. Can I get one last hand of appreciation for all of these award recipients? I'd like to continue now with the team awards. As a division, UT Police and Security Division also acknowledges large-scale projects that draw from the talent and resources across our team. We will now recognize 2 divisional team efforts that merit appreciation for many of our staff. In these efforts, many team members took part, and we acknowledge the collective success of these actions. Our first team award goes to the group of individuals who participated in the planning and execution of the recent electronic safety screening technology project. A few weeks ago, we successfully completed an electronic safety screening pilot at MD Anderson's, thanks to the efforts of our exceptional team who worked tirelessly to make it successful. The pilot evaluated the feasibility and effectiveness of passive screening technologies that can identify potential security risks, policy compliance, enhance safety mindset, as well as reduce legal liability. The project has demonstrated the value of the team's expertise as they worked with many other teams throughout MD Anderson and Motorola to pilot the electronic safety screening and to capture data for the future, for a future resource. We extend our heartfelt thanks to each and every member who played a part in this success. If you are here and you contributed to this project, please stand to be recognized. And for clarification, this is utilizing Motorola's product called Evolve. It's a passive weapons type detection, but it does much more than that. It's not a metal detector per se. And it's really the future. And in order to do that and still have your quality of patient experience and visitors, being taken care of and getting the throughput, I'm telling you, it took a great deal of effort. And if it wasn't for the gentleman that you saw here today and many others, that project could not have been successfully completed. And so now we've been able to evaluate that and be able to move forward. So again, thank you so much for that. The second team award recipients are members of the community outreach team. This team has demonstrated exceptional dedication and commitment to coordinating the annual promotion and award ceremony for our division, even amidst the challenges of the pandemic. Today, we are enjoying the product of their work, but I also want to acknowledge their efforts during the previous 3 years. The team has gone above and beyond to ensure that the ceremony remained a special and meaningful event for everyone involved, despite having to transition to the virtual format. Their creativity and adaptability allowed us to continue to celebrate the achievements and contributions of our team in a safe and inclusive manner. We are grateful for the team's commitment to serving our community. Would the team please stand? Congratulations. Thank you so much. You got it? Thank you. Carla was a member of the team at one time too. So Carla, thank you. I would like to now acknowledge a few members who received awards at the state and national levels for their achievements. Come on up, Ray. Ray Gerwitz, our Associate Vice President and Deputy Chief Security Officer, was named the Texas Police Chiefs Association 2022 Executive Leadership Award winner. Ray has been, yeah, that's good. Ray has been an innovative and a definitive change agent, playing a prominent role in evolving traditional protection agency into a modern, agile, adaptive, risk, and threat-oriented organization. But to be recognized by the Texas Police Chiefs Association for their top leadership award is a major accomplishment. And to be candid with you, I think Ray's the first non-commissioned person I've seen get recognized with their top award. This is one award they give each year. So with that, Ray, congratulations, and here's your award. Next, we have manager of our risk protection operation unit, Robert Haynes. Robert, would you please come forward? Amongst nationwide entries, Robert was selected as one of the International Association of Chiefs of Police 40 under 40. Robert oversees 2 teams of analysts and has a passion to continue to learn and develop, as well as a willingness to coach others. A recent graduate of our campus leadership program, he embodies successful leadership through modeling. It is important to point out that the significance of this award, as the IACP is the largest and most recognized police leadership organization in the world. Robert, great job, great recognition. Congratulations. By the way, I got to tell you, that award is much heavier than yours, Ray. Congratulations, Robert, once again. It gives me great pleasure to announce the next program who received the International Association of Healthcare Safety and Security Award for Healthcare Security and Safety's Commendation for Merit for the contributions to our ability to move to a data-driven organization. The Shared Purpose Council, implemented in 2021, focuses on the quality of existing services and how we may be able to adapt our services to protect our community and reduce harm. The council allows team leaders to work collectively on issues or trends. The Shared Purpose Council is sort of a combination of what you see in medical and healthcare, the QAPI, as well as some of the ComStat principles. And it's how we bring leadership together. They present on where they're at, what they're doing, where their metrics are at, and how we all can come together collectively and make the campus safer. So with that, I want to say congratulations to the team members of the Shared Purpose Council. If you are a member of the Shared Purpose Council, would you please stand to be recognized? Outstanding. We appreciate that. The Outstanding Security Performance Award, they call them the OSPAs, recognize and reward companies, people, and innovation across the security sector across the nation. The OSPA Awards Committee selected our Uniform Security Operations team as a finalist for the OSPA Outstanding Security Organization Award. Our team has played a major role in meeting the institution's service excellence standards, particularly when it comes to customer serving and putting patients first. On a day-to-day basis, visitors on our campus are likely to interact with our USO team. As one of the most visible components on campus, they provide service and information to students, faculty, staff, patients, and visitors. Enforcing policies and guidelines and safeguarding MD Anderson and UTHealth Houston property is a top priority. Their observation skills and reports of suspicious activity often lead to the apprehension of violators and suspects. More importantly, their work in what we call near misses is second to none. If you are part of the USO team, please stand. The work you do for us every day is invaluable and very appreciated. Thank you. If you see the police officer, if you see the police and security division personnel in a white shirt, that's the USO team, even though some in the back didn't want to stand to be recognized. But thank you all very much. At this point, I'd like to turn it back over to Sharnika.
All right, thank you, Chief. So before I begin with the educational achievements, I'd like to invite Ray Gerwitz to the stage to give another recognition.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. One of the favorite parts of my role that I get to do is oftentimes when we flip the script on the chief and someone talks about the chief or someone presents in a good way, Chief. When we talk about the chief or when we present the chief with recognition, I'm typically selected to do that. So this time, it's really my honor to talk about a man and recognize a man who spends the majority of his day, and I promise you this, I office right next to him, recognizing others. Very humble, really didn't even want me to bring attention to this, but we're gonna do it all the same because we get to hear in the award ceremony and that's what we're doing. So I want to talk about the chief and his selection as the Campus Safety Director of the Year. This award is probably the most prestigious award in the security industry. So prestigious that they break it up into different divisions. They have a healthcare division, a campus division. They have many different divisions that people from around the country compete in. Hundreds of people and nominations are submitted. And this year, our own Chief Adcox has been selected as a finalist for that award. So I want to congratulate him at a time when I know he's congratulating others and he would not take the opportunity to do that. So with that, if we can all give a round to our chief and present him that.
All right, thank you, Ray. So at this point in our ceremony, we would like to recognize our staff members who have completed higher education degrees and professional certifications. So when I call your name, please stand. First, we have Department Administrator Sylvia Arizola. Sylvia received her Master of Business Administration degree with a concentration in Human Resource Management from the University of Houston Clear Lake campus. Congratulations, Sylvia. Lead Police Telecommunicator Crystal Weems. Crystal here? Okay. So Crystal earned a Master of Arts in Conflict Resolution with the Mediator Certification and Nina Center Manager Certification from Abilene Christian University and Nina Center Manager Certification. So congratulations to Crystal. Sergeant Walter Spivey. Sergeant Spivey received his Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice from Liberty University, as well as a graduate program certificate in Management and Leadership from Liberty University Overton School of Business. Good job. Start. Administrative Assistant Yusra Siddiqui. Yusra obtained her Bachelor of Science in Health Administration from the University of Houston main campus. Great job, Yusra. Program Coordinator Marlene Richards. Marlene received her Associates of Arts degree with a concentration in General Studies from San Jacinto Community College. Way to go, Marlene. So congratulations again to all of our graduates. So we will also recognize staff members who have completed professional certifications. When I call your name, please stand. Lieutenant Justin Taylor. Already standing. All right, Lieutenant Taylor earned a certification in critical incident stress management from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Congratulations, Lieutenant Taylor. And we also had many uniform security operations staff also obtain their certified healthcare security officer certification from the International Association of Healthcare Security and Safety. Obtaining a CHSO certification is a critical step toward professional excellence and a commitment to providing the highest level of security and safety in healthcare facilities. By obtaining a CHSO certification, our public safety officers demonstrate to their colleagues, employers, and the community that they possess a comprehensive understanding of best practices in healthcare security, emergency management, and risk assessment. So we have 2 slides. And if you are one of our uniform security operations staff who sees your name on the slide, please stand to be recognized. And we may have some that are on Zoom. So if you're on Zoom, please let us know that you're there so that we can send congratulations to you as well. It is now my pleasure to take a moment to recognize and celebrate the achievements of some of our esteemed colleagues who have received promotions. Today, we celebrate a lot of promotions because we have 2 years worth of promotions to celebrate. I'd like to first recognize a group who during their time as public safety officers showed a strong work ethic, attention to detail, and a willingness to go above and beyond in serving our community. In their new roles as senior public safety officers, they serve as leads and provide guidance and support to new officers. Chief, would you please stand to welcome our colleagues as I call their name? So as I call your name, if you're here, please come on stage to receive your certificate and we'll take a photo. All right. Gudetta Abioye. Elson Ayub. Gwendolyn Jones Campbell. Albert Juarez. Diana Ladieres. Roy Lee. CB Matthew. Tyrone McLean. Roni Robbie Raju. Right. Lester Smith. And Aurelio So. So congratulations on your new roles as senior public safety officers. All right. So it is with great pleasure that I announce the promotion of the next recipients to Public Safety Supervisor. Lakin Koliade. Juan Ortega and Darlene Wade. So as they come to the stage, Lakin, Juan, and Darlene have been an integral part of our public safety team for years and have consistently demonstrated exceptional service, dedication, and commitment to our community. In their new role as supervisor, they continue to demonstrate a strong work ethic, attention to detail, and a willingness to go above and beyond in serving our community. Congratulations to PSS Koliade, PSS Ortega, and PSS Wade. David Johnsrud. David Johnsrud was promoted to Public Safety Manager. David has been an invaluable member of our organization. He began as a PSO in January 2019 and was quickly promoted to PSS in August that same year by showing his tremendous dedication, hard work, and leadership skills. He has consistently gone above and beyond in delivering high-quality work, mentoring, and training team members and ensuring that our division operates smoothly. Congratulations, Manager Johnson. For an officer to be considered for a promotion to the rank of sergeant, they must meet a set of qualifications and requirements. These include experience, performance, training, and leadership skills. These next individuals met all of these and continue to be valuable members of our division. So please join us on stage. Alicio Alvarado, Salvador Beltran, Carla Gorig, Kenneth Horton, Alondra Jones, Michael Milner, and Walter Spivey. So congratulations again on your promotions. Next, we have Raul Tenorio, who's recently promoted to lieutenant. In his new role as lieutenant, Lieutenant Tenorio makes sound decisions under pressure and serves as a leader. His in-depth knowledge of law enforcement practices from his nearly 20 years with our division. Congratulations on your promotion, Lieutenant Tenorio. All right. Promotion to detective is a recognition of outstanding performance as a police officer and the demonstrated ability to handle complex investigations. As a detective, these individuals are responsible for investigating crimes, gathering evidence, interviewing witnesses, and collaborating with other law enforcement agencies to solve cases and bring perpetrators to justice. Join me in congratulating the next individuals on their promotion to detective. Adrian Arsenault, James Gonzalez, and Carlos Guzman. Could you please join us on stage? And we'd also like to welcome Matthew Cardenas and Marissa Trujillo for their promotions to senior detective. Okay.
Chief. I just want to, working with my team, I'm watching and there's a lot of work and effort that goes into these events. But when we make boo-boos, we want to correct it as quick as possible. The one thing that I want to recognize, and I'm sure some of y'all recognize it already, Mr. So, he's had a busy couple of years. He went from a senior, he is now a PSF. We need to recognize Mr. So here.
No.
Okay, Ms. Thompson, I'll get in there. Thank you, Mel. Melvin's keeping me in line too. Ms. Thompson also, because they weren't even in their roles of senior, boom, we got moved up again. So those are two, Ms. Thompson, could you please rise? We're gonna fix, there's a lot of movement, we need to make you back. The program is stuck here. We can fix it, right?
Thank you. Okay.
And, one more person that I did not want us to miss, but they need to be recognized. David does a great job as a manager. Sorry, Lisa. We have two managers, Lisa director was also. He's gonna give him that, so I don't care. Tell me, somebody's got work ethic. This lady right here has work ethic. He would log on to Zoom in the hospital room. You can hear the blood pressure machines and all that stuff going on, and she didn't want to miss a meeting. That, folks, needs to be recognized.
All right, thank you for those updates and giving my voice a break. All right, promoting rank to inspector is recognition of demonstrated ability of leadership and noteworthy investigative work. Viola Douglas has adapted well to her new role. Please join us on stage. Inspector Douglas. Police telecommunicators play a critical role in ensuring the safety and security of our communities. They are often the first point of contact between the public and law enforcement, and their job is to quickly and accurately assess emergency situations, gather information, and dispatch the appropriate emergency services. Join me in congratulating these individuals on their promotion within the Risk Operations Center. Chelsea Lee, Kamala Watson, Angel Sanders, and Fernando Diaz. So if any of you are here, please come to the stage. All right. Next, LaTanya Barnes, please join us on stage. LaTanya was recently promoted to executive assistant. She has been with UT Police for 9 years. She is already excelling in her new position, organizing the incoming flow of work, prioritizing requests, maintaining a monitoring system, and following up to ensure timely responses, to name just a few of her many daily tasks. Congratulations, LaTanya. Hmm?
Those of you who don't know, LaTanya's the one that keeps Ray in order.
Marlene Richards. Marlene was recently promoted to program coordinator. She works closely with OPI, records compliance, and accreditations. Marlene displays outstanding dedication to assisting all sections of the department process and tracking various forms of personnel issues. Congratulations, Marlene. Samantha Russo. Samantha here? No. All right. The role of a threat and risk analyst is a critical one in ensuring public safety. It requires a combination of analytical skills, attention to detail, and strong communication and collaboration skills to be successful. So congratulations, Samantha, on your promotion. Finally, we'd like to recognize 3 individuals who have been promoted to director recently: Roberto Ramos, Brandon Simmons, and Roy Williams. Please come to the stage. Their new roles as Director, Police Administration and Support Services is critical in ensuring that UT Police has the resources, policies, and infrastructure needed to effectively serve the community. It requires a combination of leadership skills, administrative expertise, and a strong commitment to public service. Congratulations on your promotions, gentlemen. All right. Now, as this year's awards committee chair, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge this year's awards committee, who played a huge part in making this ceremony possible. In January, we invited our staff members to begin submitting nominations, and we received a lot. There were many excellent nominations, and about a month ago, the awards committee began to evaluate them. On the slide, you will see the members of this year's awards committee. We are grateful to also have 3 civilian representatives from our Community Partnership Council take part on the committee again. So a special thank you to Perry Griffin, Diane Confer, and Allison Bashir. Would anyone from our awards committee that's present here today please stand? Steve Carter is also on the committee. Thank you all. All right, the awards committee reviewed, discussed the policy that provides definitions and guidance on the matter. They vetted and voted on a large number of nominations, and I was able to then route the deserving nominations to Chief Adcox for approval, and then on to UT System Director of Police, Michael Heidingsfield, for final approval. Thank you again to our awards committee. So, yeah. I'd like to begin the announcement of our UT System Award recipients, which we commonly refer to as ODOT. As earlier mentioned, these recipients were nominated for police actions or administrative contributions to this department. So Chief, you're going to remain standing on your spot for a photo with our recipients. So we'll begin with an award recipient receiving both a Meritorious Conduct Award and a Life-Saving Award. Meritorious conduct provides appropriate recognition for achievement or service when not involved in an encounter with a hostile aggressor or armed offender. The Life-Saving Award is awarded to a member of the UT System Police when the member attempting the rescue can be demonstrated to have saved the life of a victim, even if only for a short but measurable period of time. Lieutenant Raul Tenorio, please join us on stage once again. Lieutenant Tenorio administered aid to multiple gunshot victims at a gas station. He was at a local gas station while on duty when he saw a fast-moving vehicle abruptly enter the station. Vehicle occupants began yelling for help. Lieutenant Tenorio noticed multiple bullet holes in the vehicle and multiple wounded victims. He administered aid to the victims, including a driver who had been shot in the head and a passenger with multiple bullet wounds to the abdomen. Lieutenant Tenorio receives a Meritorious Conduct and Life-Saving Award for his actions that day. Congratulations. Next, we have a Distinguished Service Award. Distinguished Service is awarded to a member of the UT System Police for bravery, acts of merit, or distinguished service. Senior Public Safety Officer Lester Smith, please join us on stage. Senior Public Safety Officer Lester Smith serves at MD Anderson West Houston and established a routine for patrols which led to deterring vehicle thefts, improving routine facilities checks, and distributing safety information to staff at the facility. Because of his efforts to make West Houston area location safer, Senior PSO Lester Smith receives a Distinguished Service Award. Come back on stage. Senior, I gotta read the next one. You get 2 awards. All right, so you also receive an award of excellence for being observed and reported for suspicious activities at MD Anderson West Houston location, resulting in crime and loss prevention to MD Anderson workforce members, employees, patients, and visitors. For his efforts in a parking lot security threat, unauthorized contractor entry, and notifying of a loss prevention concern, Senior Public Safety Officer Lester Smith also receives an award of excellence. The Certificate of Merit is next. Certificate of Merit is awarded to a member of the UT System Police for outstanding achievement or meritorious service during an encounter with a criminal offender or circumstance. Public Safety Officer Arita Brown, please come up. Public Safety Officer Arita Brown was nominated in recognition for her role in beckoning a patient who exhibited threatening behavior away from an office and using de-escalation techniques until police officers arrived at the location. PSO Brown's quick thinking provided office staff with enough time to secure the door and activate their panic alarm button. For her actions, PSO Brown receives a Certificate of Merit. Congratulations. We now have several more recipients of the Life-Saving Award for this year. We could have Sergeant Michael Milner, Officer Philip Gwynn, and Senior Detective Brody Reiner come towards the stage. All right. Sergeant Milner, Officer Gwynn, and Senior Detective Reiner were nominated for their role they played in successfully intervening and de-escalating a suicidal employee over the phone and in person. Due to the efforts of Sergeant Milner, Officer Gwynn, and Senior Detective Reiner, the individual who stated she was going to jump from her apartment to kill herself voluntarily agreed to mental health treatment. For their efforts, Sergeant Milner, Officer Gwynn, and Senior Detective Reiner each receive a Life-Saving Award. Congratulations. All right. Public Safety Supervisor Kamal Oliver and Public Safety Supervisor Lakin Kolahade. If you're, yeah, I know you're here. All right. Public Safety Supervisor Kamal Oliver, along with Public Safety Supervisor Lakin Kolahade, were involved in an incident at an MD Anderson loading dock. SP Kolahade noticed an individual in their vehicle for an extended period of time, and upon inspection, realized the person was unresponsive. He then pulled the person from the vehicle and began doing chest compressions on the individual, rotating with PSS Oliver until the Code Blue team arrived. In recognition of their roles in assisting with the unresponsive individual, Public Safety Supervisors Kamal Oliver and Lakin Kolahade receive a life-saving award. Next, we have the Distinguished Command Award. It's awarded to a command officer within the UT System Police who has serviced with the distinction over an extended period of time. The recipient, Assistant Chief Vicki King, isn't able to join us today. Chief King has announced her retirement and getting a head start into her well-earned new beginning. Chief King's professionalism, innovative spirit, and administrative acumen have elevated performance and built meaningful trust relationships within our community. UT Police has benefited from her expertise in threat safety science, ensuring the proper measures for the prevention of violent crimes and other threats. In recognition of Assistant Chief King's servant leadership and contributions to the threat management team, our colleagues, and our community, she receives a Distinguished Command Award. Next, we will do the Award of Excellence. We have quite a few of those. The Award of Excellence is awarded to members of the UT System Police who distinguish themselves by sustained achievement. The achievements must be accomplished with distinction above and beyond the normally expected of professional officers and members. Public Safety Officer Stefan Wong, Officer Jalen Thornton, and Officer Peter Williams. Any of you are here? Yep. We got one. So Public Safety Officer Stefan Wong observed a vehicle driving erratically on Bertner Avenue and contacted officers via his radio of what he was witnessing. He stayed closely but safely behind the driver as a traffic stop was initiated. Officer Peter Williams was able to get in contact with the driver's spouse and discovered that the driver was likely experiencing a medical emergency due to diabetes. EMS arrived and transported the man to the hospital for treatment. In recognition to their response, Public Safety Officer Wong and Police Officers Thornton and Williams have each received an Award of Excellence. Public Safety Officer Edward Brockett. Public Safety Officer Edward Brockett witnessed a suspicious person peering through a door located near a parking garage. He notified the Risk Operations Center that a suspicious person was in the garage and continued to observe the individual until police officers were able to respond and apprehend the suspect. In recognition for his role in identifying and reporting suspicious behavior, PSO Brockett receives an Award of Excellence. Public Safety Supervisor Gwendolyn Jones Campbell. I'm sorry, Public Safety Officer, I'm sorry. Public Safety Officer Gwendolyn Jones Campbell was performing an extra patrol of a bike rack where she knew the bike had been left behind by an individual who had stolen a scooter the prior day. With information on the suspect's description fresh in her mind, PSO Jones Campbell quickly called dispatch, advising that a person matching the suspect's description was retrieving the abandoned bicycle. PSO Jones Campbell's actions led to the apprehension of the suspect and earned her an Award of Excellence. Police Officer Devontae James. Officer James responded to a domestic call at UT Housing and quickly determined the case needed to involve his supervisors and the threat management team. Due to Officer James's competent handling of the investigation, there was a speedy arrest of the offender and safety resources for the pregnant victim and young child. In recognition of his handling of this case, Officer James receives an award of excellence. Public Safety Officer Zachariah Koshi. Public Safety Officer Koshi noticed a patient showing signs of a medical emergency while at the MD Anderson Pavilion. PSO Koshi initiated a code blue and also requested additional patrols to assist with crowd control. Emergency responders were able to arrive on scene and transport the patient. Because of PSO Koshi's role in assisting the patient and providing a secure environment, he receives an award of excellence. Senior Threat and Risk Analyst Rudy Martinez. There he is. Senior Threat and Risk Analyst Rudy Martinez partnered with the parking department to encourage collaboration and modification of a process that was presenting a safety concern to contractors who had parking accounts at the mid-campus building. Martinez's efforts ensured that drivers would have immediate after-hours elevator access at the garage. In recognition of his efforts, an award of excellence is presented. Public Safety Supervisor Melba Dole. Public Safety Supervisor Dole was a key member of the Queen of the Netherlands visit to MD Anderson. She trained all uniformed security officers and conducted many pre-walks with the strategic communications team and other institutional executives. For her efforts, PSS Dole also receives an award of excellence. Our last set of awards, one second, because Melba gets two. Our last set of awards are the Community Service Awards. The Community Service Award, we'll have you stay on stage. The Community Service Award is awarded to members who create or participate in a program which has a significant positive impact on the campus or campus community, which would exceed the normal expectations of job performance. Public Safety Supervisor Dole is the supervisor for the 4 Houston area location outpatient clinics. Under her supervision, the West Houston location has established measures to protect the parking lots to discourage vehicle and catalytic converter thefts. These efforts also have led to a decrease in crime at the location. In recognition of these efforts, PSS Dole receives a Community Service Award. Sergeant Scott Barnwell, Officer Emmanuel Leston, Lieutenant Eduardo Rodriguez, and Captain Michael Redmond. Sergeant Barnwell, Lieutenant Rodriguez, and Captain Redmond are members of the Emergency Management and Special Events Group, and Officer Leston is our division's Community Outreach Officer. As you heard earlier in our program, recognizing Ultra Revis's Civilian Service Award, this group developed the unit-based active shooter exercises program, which has trained MD Anderson's clinical employees to be better prepared to protect themselves and their parents until first responders can arrive. Their patients, I'm sorry. Because of their efforts with this program, Sergeant Barnwell, Officer Leston, Lieutenant Rodriguez, and Captain Redmond receive a Community Service Award. Metrics Analyst Carla Holsey. Come on up. Carla used her project management skills to ensure the current security master plan was coordinated in a timely and efficient manner and completed by the deadline. She also used her talents to assist a joint workplace violence prevention program meeting to ensure ideas are tracked, projects assigned and scheduled, and tasks are completed. Because of her contributions, she receives a Community Service Award. Threat and Risk Analyst, Christiane Josies. Threat and Risk Analyst Christiane Josies presented a solution for UT Police Systems passwords to ensure they do not expire, in keeping with MD Anderson's account passwords policy. She presented the solution and worked with the appropriate individuals to put the new solution in action. In recognition for her efforts to simplify login procedures for 5 departmental software systems, she is awarded a Community Service Award. Public Safety Supervisor, Dania Thompson. Public Safety Supervisor Thompson established a strong working relationship with UT Housing and UT Professional Building staff to improve safety at these locations. Under Thompson's leadership, standard operating procedures were established, as well as a risk prevention checklist using available resources at UT Police and tailoring them to the unique responsibilities at each of the locations. A Community Service Award was given for her efforts. And the final ODOP award we present today goes to someone who might just be one of the most cheerful people in our division. She's also planned this spectacular event today. Senior Community Relations Specialist, Victoria Vasquez, come on up. Senior Community Relations Victoria Vasquez often steps up to take on special projects and many last-minute tasks that arise. She volunteers for extra duties to help wherever she can, just as Shakira's lyrics have taught her. When there was a need to issue a special edition of our newsletter, Nightline, Victoria volunteered to pull it together and had it ready for distribution to our community within days. If you attend a virtual campus safety class on Wednesdays, you just may be in for a treat if she happens to fill in for Officer Leston. Because of her amazingness, Victoria receives a Community Service Award. Friends, with that, we conclude our presentation of the Office of Director of Police Awards. Once again, we congratulate all who were recognized with an award. We will now close our event by presenting the Of the Year Awards. Our division is comprised of many different professionals. To recognize the various job duties and functions, we award Of the Year Awards. They are Civilian, Public Safety Officer, Inspector, Telecommunicator, and Police. This year, we've added a new award for Leadership Team Member of the Year. These categories ensure that individuals across the different job families in our division have the opportunity to receive their due recognition. The executive leadership team reviewed nominations submitted by their peers. I'd like to invite AVP Ray Gerwitz back to the podium, and Ray will present our first Of the Year awards.
Thank you, Shanika. Hey, and how about a hand for Shanika with all the duties here? So I've been told I got to run a little long because Assistant Chief Cross had to step out for a minute and he follows me. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do a couple moves over here, just like Victoria did. No? I'll do it post-hip surgery. All right, all right. Okay, but in all seriousness, my second favorite part of my job is to come up here every time we do this in person and lead off the Of the Year awards. As we get close to the end, every award is important, but these awards here are some of the most sought after in the department. So we'll get right to it. There we go. I'm excited to once again be able to gather together in a room to present these meaningful awards. And thank you to those who are still with us on Zoom. Can't see anybody back there, but looks like there are people. I got the thumbs up from Erica. How many people, Erica? 38. All right. Good deal. All right. So the first category we have here is Public Safety Officer of the Year. The person receiving the award today has already joined us on stage previously. So I've seen a few of them that have come up here a couple of times. Well, I'm not going to say. So is always readily available to assist when needed, whether it is a special project or an event. has been assigned to perform extra patrols in sensitive areas to report any unsecured doors, hallway obstructions, lighting outages or fixtures and other components that make sure the buildings are safe and secure. A recipient of the Distinguished Service Award, as well as the Award of Excellence earlier in today's ceremony. There's a hint. This year's Public Safety Officer of the Year is, look at Melba looking at me. Go ahead, Melba, drum roll. All right, Melba. Senior Public Safety Officer, Lester Smith. Lester, why were you standing before I announced your name? All right, I have the pleasure for one more. So this year, as Sharnika noted, we have a new award for the leadership team. So it's the leadership award for the member of the leadership team that we want to recognize for the year. So this year for the inaugural award, it's described, where am I? As having 5 essential elements of a leader, which are communication, knowing your staff, self-awareness, diplomacy, and seeking feedback. I hinted that one. She makes sure that the division stays within budget to accomplish our goals and mission. Because of her hard work, now everybody knows, and dedication to the division. Come on up, Sylvia. I just want to say I've been up here all day. He just now tells me you got to stand on the dot. Pictures. Can't see. I'm gonna go out this way. Oh. Wait. Please welcome Senior Inspector Charlie Dunn to the stage.
For those of y'all who have never seen me in this uniform before, I am Charlie Dunn. It is my privilege and also my pleasure to do the next 2 awards. The first one being the Civilian Employee of the Year. It's not going to be a surprise, so y'all will figure it out before we get the name put up there. But this individual does a ton of things for this department. I mean, she wears a whole bunch of hats. She wears more hats than my wife has purses. If you know my wife, you know she wears a lot of hats. So a lot of the hats that she wears, and I'll just run through a bunch of them, is she is our records retention expert. She is our custodian of records, which means every time a subpoena comes in, every time the district attorney has to call and ask for evidence, it comes through her. She is our Clary specialist. So every year when we produce an annual Clary report, she is the one that has to take care of that. She works with both institutions on the UTHealth side and on the MD Anderson side when it comes to taking care of everything we do. And every single police officer in here knows her and her staff tirelessly review every single offense report that comes through every single day. So just in case you haven't figured it out yet, Alma, come on up here. And the last hat she wears is she has to put up with me every single day. The next award is the Investigator of the Year. This individual who is receiving this award is a very unique individual. He came to us just 3 years ago from finance of all places. So you got to kind of figure, you can make it as a fantastic investigator from coming from somewhere other than a patrol officer. This officer also was assigned to the threat management unit for the last couple of years and has distinguished himself as the go-to guy, not only by other individuals in threat management, but also by folks on the UTHealth side and again on the MD Anderson side. He leads the squad in number of cases assigned. He leads the squad in number of cases worked. And he does all of this, and it's my understanding, little birdie told me, you did all of this while going to school and getting your degree. Is it this weekend? This weekend with what I'm told is a 4.0 GPA from the University of Utah. So, Philip, come on up and get your award. Now, Philip, no pressure, but I know the guy who won this back in 2019. And you have a lot to live up to. Okay, and Chief Cross, you're the man.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to continue the Of the Year awardees. And the first one that I'm going to do is the Telecommunicator of the Year. And that award, this year's winner has had awareness of what is happening in the Risk Operations Center. At the end of her shifts, she checks the calls to ensure that the source and nature codes as well as dispositions are correct and notifies the supervisor throughout the day of any calls that may need attention. She remains calm under pressure and maintains that calm throughout the event. Because of her ability to ensure a successful shift by being proactive in her thoughts and actions, and I've heard many times when she thought outside the box to make sure the shift went smooth, Kara Darby is this year's Telecommunicator of the Year. Okay, the next award I'm very privileged to announce today is a Supervisor of the Year. This award goes to an individual who joined the Risk Operations Center as a police telecommunicator and became a top performer in the center. This individual began his career with UT Police in 2008 as a public safety officer, and in 2018 earned a promotion to Risk Operations Center Supervisor. He proves to be a great leader, and I tell you, he really is. Every time I see him, he's always thinking positive. He's always thinking about ways to improve the Risk Operations Center. But he's just an amazing guy down there. He shows those that report to him that he cares, he's truthful, and has a strong moral compass. Because of his consistent application of directives, helping in whatever way he can, and dedication to improving his team members' skills, this year's Supervisor of the Year award goes to Robert Tito Latif. Unfortunately, Robert Tito is out in training. Lieutenant Taylor will accept the award for him. He's out in training in Virginia, but please congratulate Tito when you see him, please. The next award is the Police Officer of the Year award. The person receiving this year's award has demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to UT Police at Houston, the institutions and the community we serve. He models safe and ethical behavior that mitigates risk to the institution through sound business practices. As you heard earlier today, this recipient also was recently promoted to sergeant and completed his criminal justice degree. Because of his work ethic, dedication to bringing a positive energy, and a willingness to assist, which is also in keeping with UTHealth Houston and MD Anderson Community Safe this year's Police Officer of the Year. He's been up here again. Come on up, Sergeant Marcus Fine. You want to get up? You want to get up? All right. Alondra, all right. Okay, the next award, you may not see on your, what do we call it, agenda? On your agenda. But this is a big award. And the executive team came up with this award to honor a very, very special person this year. And I'm gonna call up Captain Doran Preacher. Doran, please come up. Please come up. Now, those of you who know Doran, they know he's very, very humble person. And he won't like me saying all this, but we're going to say it anyhow, because he certainly deserves this. But knowing how humble he is, he won't like all this. So thank you, Doran. He says, I've had the pleasure of witnessing firsthand the impact that individuals like you have on our community. Your dedication to providing exceptional safety services and leadership is truly inspiring. Your unwavering commitment to ensuring the safety and security of our patients and staff is a testament to your character and professionalism. Your tireless efforts to go above and beyond the call of duty have not gone unnoticed. Your service has made a significant difference in the lives of many, and it is with great pleasure that we recognize and celebrate your accomplishments. Your achievements serve as a shining example of the dedication and commitment required to excel in this field. Thank you for your exceptional service and congratulations on being well-deserved. I also want to say that the highest compliment a leader can get is to be called a servant leader. And Doran is, I've been in this field for 40 years. I've been at a very high level for over 20 years. And I've never seen a leader so admired and respected by all of the people that work for him. And he is a true servant leader. He has touched every commissioned officer in this room, from officer all the way up to captain, mentored, guided, and gave them assistance through the careers. And that's why we have so many great people here. And it's all because of his great leadership throughout 34 years. So the trophy represents your outstanding contributions to the healthcare security profession. May it serve as a constant reminder of your commitment to excellence and your unwavering dedication to safety. Many of the people in this room today had other things to do, and they made sure they were here to see Captain Preacher get this award. And I'm not done, because we're going to have Chief Adcox say some more words about Captain Preacher. Chief.
Thank you. Doran Preacher. I can honestly tell you that in the 19 years that I've been fortunate to be part of this great organization, Doran has been the one thing that's been so consistent as a person that is authentic, that is honest, and that has the most caring heart of any person that I've ever met. And I've only said this other part twice in my life, and I have 3 daughters. And the highest compliment that an individual can give that has children is somebody that they say, I would like for my children to marry somebody exactly like that. I will say that is Doran Preacher. He's that fine of a man. So I will tell you that he's a great leader. He'd give his life for any one of us in this room. And he's done this for 34 years. And none of us, at least me, can thank him enough. So Doran, congratulations and thank you for everything you do. Real quickly, we recognize the 3 directors that were promoted, but one thing is we didn't recognize our 4th director, the director at MD Anderson, the director of workplace violence prevention. He's been with us 4.5 months, and that's Marvin Redford. So Marvin, congratulations on your directorship. And Marvin hasn't had a chance to grow the goatee yet, but he's getting there. With that, I want to ask 2 people to come forward, please. If I can have Ray Gerwitz and Rob Ramos come up, please.
Okay.
Come on, Rob, take the podium. Sure. Thank you.
Well, first of all, before we do anything else, again, I want to recognize the work that the team did. And we had a couple of hiccups here and there, but we worked through them. We corrected them as quickly as we can, and we appreciate everything that everybody has done. Also want to recognize everyone that was awarded today or recognized for their achievements that they got today. That's a big thing. But more importantly, it's not just the people that got recognized today, it's the department as a whole. And because I'm left-handed, I do everything backwards. I'm gonna start at the end and come back to the front. I'm retiring June the 16th, next month. 39. I can't tell if they're happy or sad. I don't know. Y'all help me out. 39 years TRS, 38 calendar years working here at MD Anderson and UTHealth. I have literally worked, believe it or not, with every president that MD Anderson has ever had, to include R. Clark. R. Lee Clark and I used to drink coffee at the Anderson Mayfair Hotel back in the day. Dr. LeMaitre, Dr. Mendelson, Peter Pisters, everybody, our current president. I've interacted with them at least one time. And as everybody knows, it's not a big secret. Late last year, I was diagnosed with an illness that required me to be in the hospital for a month. And so far, allegedly, I'm doing well. But, you know, being in the hospital for a month kind of makes you reevaluate things and makes you think like what's really important. All of y'all in here are important, believe it or not. We fight sometimes like any family does. So Miha really pissed me off sometimes. Yeah, you, Mike, thank you for, no, Mike, you know what? That scores some points because you know who you are and you recognize it. So that's good, Mike. I appreciate that. I'm glad for raising your hand. There's a few others. I won't mention names, Taylor, Gray, you know. But I'm not going to listen to any more. No, Scott doesn't really bother me, to be honest with you. He just who he works for. We're back to you, Mike. But in all seriousness, I have soon to be my 5th grandchild. Yeah. I've already spoken to two of my two son-in-laws and have told them to find a new hobby that does not include my daughters. I met with Chief and Ray Monday. They did not know this was coming. When I came back to work in January, I was like, let me see how long I can do this. And I can still do it. I think I can hang with most of y'all. But you know, the uncertainty of my health and if and when it comes back and how things can change for me. I've decided that it's time for me to spend time with my family while I can still walk around and do things. And so this was probably one of the most difficult decisions I've ever made because I was 19 years old when I started working here, was not able to buy alcohol. And now I get the senior discount at IHOP. What was fun for me today is I was watching this knowing that this was going to be my last event, was watching Philip, and for that matter, everybody in this room. In one way, form, or fashion, I don't think there's anybody in this room that in some way, form, or fashion, I haven't reviewed the file or put a hand on as far as recruiting goes. Oh, recruiting, another recruiting stuff. Oh, I'm so tired of hearing about vacancies. Oh, yeah, and I actually recruited AVP Gerwitz to the department when he first got on. I was the one that called him. I was the one who offered him the position. And very similar to many of you in this room right now, he countered. To which I told him, sir, that's the number, take it or leave it. We did not do counters back then. And nowadays, everybody counters. And now if they're not countering, they want to delay start dates a month at a time. Recruiting has been a topic. I was listening to the dean when she was speaking, how nursing is having a hard time getting people to come in to go into the nursing field. And she kind of halfway joked, but there are business cards out there for people who want to try to go into nursing school. It's a tough market right now to try to find people to work. They don't want to work no more. They don't want to come into the office. They don't want to go to the academy. They don't want to work shift work. They don't want to work holidays. They don't want to work weekends. They don't. And it's really tough to find people. Let me tell you something. Our recruiting team that we have currently right now, Victoria and Beverly, work really, really hard to get people to come in here. And it's not easy. It really not. And a bunch of y'all are about to have a very eye-opening experience once I'm gone to think that, oh, well, Rob just wasn't doing this right. I can't tell you how many applications I put in front of Paul Cross that Paul Cross sends back and says, no, Rob, because the standards that we have in this department are so high that we just can't find people. And guess what? People don't want to be PSOs either anymore. So we're going to work real hard this last month that I'm here to try to get as many positions that we can get filled. Somebody mentioned recently during Preacher on the Shared Purpose Council meeting that never in his 34 years has he seen the amount of vacancies that we have right now. Well, in my 39 years, I can say that I agree with you, sir, but it's not for lack of effort. And we work real hard to get positions filled, but we don't want just anybody in here. All you gotta do is look around in this room and see what kind of people we have working for us, and we have standards. And it was funny when they mentioned Devin there, Mr. Wynn, about his GPA, because I remember having a you remember that conversation? Yeah. It was in the firing range, lane 3. We had a one-on-one talk, and I spoke to you like if you were my son. And I told you, I don't know what your GPA problem is at school right now, sir, but you better fix it before you go to the academy. I guess I had a lasting infection on you because now you got a 4.0. Everybody's like, oh, 4.0. Yeah, he got a Director Ramos conversation with him, and boy, he got a 4.0 now. So no more CARs, no more ARBs. We love acronyms here. No more SRTs, no more alert training, white hand, whatever. I'm gonna end my talk with this. This SOB is gonna be GOA.
All right, so before Rob stands on the dot and we take pictures, I wanted to first, Doran, congratulations, well-deserved. What a great way to end, right? 2 of the most senior people in the department being celebrated. That's good news. So well done, Doran. So I told Rob he wasn't getting off that easy. I'm gonna keep it together. When Rob came to work for me 7 years ago, I knew Rob. I didn't really know Rob. I've had the honor of working with a lot of good people. Yeah.
That was interesting. Anybody knows Ray Gervais knows he always has something to sing. So for him to not be able to finish his thought, hey, that's gonna be something I can take with me in my retirement. One of I'm gonna share with you, everybody, before I walk down here, is as a director, I was able to sign off on catering. The coconut shrimp, because of me.
I don't know how you go from there, but. Well, thank you. So we had, let's give everybody a great round of applause. What many accomplishments, great merited, many accomplishments. You look around this room, you look at the women and men that are not here today, and you'll know what a quality organization that you all have built. We have built this together, and we cannot sacrifice or delineate from the mission. So I want to thank each and every one of you for that. I do want to also recognize that it's a good time to be in this business, in the sense that being servant leaders and servants of our community during Police Week, that's something special. So take that with you too. But before we conclude, it takes a lot of people to make these celebrations and ceremonies successful. So I want to recognize a few that made this ceremony a success today. I want to recognize Carla Halsey, Erica Torres Reiner, Arlene Richards, Anissa Sells, Yusra Siddiqui, and Claudia Garcia. Thank you so much for all your help in making this. I also want to thank the outreach team members. Shanika Gagel, what a wonderful MC. I think we found a keeper. I really did. Wow. And Victoria Vasquez and of course our manager, Maribel Salazar, what a great job that you all have done to pull this off. So we really deeply appreciate it. Thank you for making this happen. Thank you for making the Zoom go down. It's just so important. As we close, let me thank each and every one of you that attended from the bottom of my heart. It means more than we can ever tell you to come celebrate each other, the UT Police family, our UT family. It's just great to have everybody here. So in closing, thank you very much. Please stick around, do some socialization and some great food in the back. I think Rob mentioned some of it. So thank you.